Hello everyone, you are watching International Talk Show Let Us Talk from Artline TV. This program is rounding around the world in different countries. So today we have a guest from Australia, Katalin Csardas. Her work is very interesting, that's why our team selected her work. This episode is very interesting episode around the world. Is world artists come from this platform and share his journey of life. What they have experience of life, artistic journey, and what they have a future plan. This whole thing gathering. Not only that, his and her work also we see in episodes. Here is the his work is very interesting. So a lot of artists come from here, and we have a lot of artists in the serial. So this show is coming every Sunday at 8 p.m. Nepali time. Please all of you watch this episode, and this is a very interesting episode. Dear artist, welcome this episode and share your experience of life.
Hello, my name is Katalin Csardas and I'm going to give you the latest talk on Artline TV Nepal, and I'd like to thank Harry Om Mehta and his team for this opportunity. Well, where does one start? Oh, first of all, welcome to my library. I have millions and millions of art books, design books, textile books, passion of fibre, all form of arts, and I actually work mostly in mixed media because I can manipulate all types of media. Anyway, where did my journey start? Good one. Okay, I think it started when I was a 3-year-old. I remember sitting for a young gentleman who was obviously an artist, and my mother had asked him to do a portrait of me, and to this day I have that beautiful portrait. And I think the fact that he could work so quickly, it must have stayed in my mind. On top of that, my mother was a designer. She is now of course retired, but the love of fabric, textiles, drawing, and all those sort of things obviously came from there. And I was forever sitting by her side while she was working. And my father, he was an absolute treasure in drawing also, but he also had the talents of music, dance, and other areas of the arts. So I was surrounded by, I suppose, artistic people in the different formats. I came to Australia as a young child, as a 5-year-old, during the revolution in Hungary, and there was not much opportunity to do a lot of art, and my mother always embedded in me that I should get a proper job. Don't worry about the art, because art will not feed you. So I did my studies as I was told, but in between I was always drawing, always painting, always sewing, and always doing some form of design work. And as I finished my high school years, I didn't do art in high school as a subject because of course I wasn't allowed to, because artists weren't seen in those days to be ones that could make a living. And even today, some of us still don't make a living. So it's quite interesting. But once an artist, always an artist in some shape or form. You're forever creating something. So off I went to do my studies at university, and I became a teacher. I became a primary and high school teacher in English and various other subjects, but I also majored in arts and crafts. but it didn't mean that I was an artist or an art teacher, but that I had majored in one of those subjects. And that was my starter point, I suppose, that I wasn't going to give it up. Even though I was told, forget it, no, there was no way I was giving up my arts and crafts. So on I went to teach for many years, and the world opened in the sense that I taught art to classes, the primary school. I taught pottery in high school, but I also taught introductory Japanese, which is quite a thing for me. But I learnt about their arts and crafts because I was like a motivator teacher. I taught them in year 7 and 8, and then they took up Japanese formally in year 9. So I've had a checkered world in the art forms, and all my life I have travelled throughout every year, I think. And then I had married and had children, and once the children grew up, it was time for me to take on my art world. And that's when it really all started. About 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I decided that's it. So I started designing, and I was designing accessories, handbags, jewellery. I was working for companies, and I also freelanced. And I travelled the world, and wherever I went, it was learning from the artisans. I took in the basket weavers in Africa and Kenya and Ethiopia. I took in the weavers in Thailand and the Hmong and Akha tribes people up in the mountains. I went to Tibet and I watched all the artisans with the jewellery. I went to Nepal and loved Nepal and saw all the beautiful work in the field of jewellery, the pashminas, yes, and I sat on a yak here and a yak there at different altitudes when on my way to Tibet via Nepal. So I've also been to many forecasting places like New York and Hong Kong for fashion and design. I have actually studied colour and design, hence you will note I'm crazy about colour, and you'll see it in my artwork. That's my passion, is colour, and the fact that art makes you happy, and my colours are always happy unless I have a sad moment, of course, then I use sad colours. But basically speaking, I love colour. On top of that, my philosophy is go where your heart goes, where your soul takes you, and create what you feel inside. And having been a refugee in the days that my parents defected from Hungary, I've always had this idea that no one wants to be displaced, no one wants to be put aside, no one wants to leave their home. And I think that's a current topic, especially today, that we have so many refugees around the world. And my idea is that maybe with my art, and other artisans obviously do also, maybe I can say something. I have a section in my artwork that I call the Utopians. Now, Utopians are beings that have the inner child, that human element which we sometimes lose, and we're neither male, female, neither religion, we're just beings, we're happy beings. It doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter the colour of your skin, it doesn't matter whether you're fat or you're thin. So what I'm trying to convey is that we're all the same, none of us are different. And I can tell you, I've been from Tibet to the islands, to Mexico, to the US, and of course Australia where I live, and we're all the same. We all want the same things. We want love, we want a comfortable home, we want food on the table, and we want to be able to interact with people harmoniously and in peace. So a lot of my art is based on this philosophy, but it all comes from the heart. I can't tell you how and why these beings come forth. I look at people and I think, oh yeah, this is the way I see you. And that's the things that I do. And other than that, it's the colour, the feeling, oh yes, and fibres. I love mixed media. I can manipulate the textures, I can manipulate the stitches, I can embellish them, I can put them into my paintings, and at the moment I'm actually working on the ocean, and I've started to put in jellyfish. Now you might say, jellyfish? Well, we have so many species of jellyfish, and the ocean is precious to us. It feeds us, it gives us life, power, a lot of things. But in our times, again, the eco world is falling apart because we're not looking after it. So I'd like to show people through my texture, through my art, my fibres and everything else, that jellyfish are here longer than dinosaurs. They've been here millions of years. And basically, jellyfish are teaching scientists. Jellyfish have gone into space. And yes, we have box jellyfish that can kill you in 5 minutes. And yes, we have irukandji. But they all have a purpose. Like all the other fish, the sharks, the dolphins, the whales, they all have a purpose. And I'd like to bring that into my art. So that's what I'm currently working on. What else have I done? Oh, I weave. I love weaving because it gives me the textures again. And anything that you can weave is organic. Again, the colours speak. And yes, of course, my design work. I was passionate about the colours in handbags and accessories. So my work is basically multimedia. But my sole purpose is to let people understand that we're all the same. We're all artisans in one shape or form. We need to listen to one another. And everything that I do comes from my heart and my soul. And I want people to live harmoniously together. I know it's a utopian idea and you might call me a dreamer. But yes, we have to have dreamers. As Walt Disney used to say, if dreamers aren't there, well, you know, what's the future? You've got to have those dream clouds all the time. And as an artisan, I can have those dream clouds and work on them. And whether people like my art is purely a personal thing. And yes, what I'd like to do is get some more of my artwork out there for future. And also, what's my message with my artwork? You know, love one another, be harmonious, live in peace. What more can I say? We have so much conflict around the world. It's one of those things that we just have to try and evolve and build. We haven't learned from history about wars and not working with each other. So hopefully artists around the world speak up, as they do. And that's my mission. Speak up through my art, tell people what I think, what I feel, what I see, what I know. And the latest talk program by Artline TV is fabulous because it brings artists from all around the world to speak about their emotions, their feelings, about what is going to happen. Artists are the future because they're the thinkers, they're the creative thinkers. And I always say to people, well, who am I? Okay, I'm a creative thinker. I create I think out of the box. I try to get solutions for different things. And it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm not trying to please everybody. I know what's inside. I have worked in Ethiopia, Kenya, I've worked in Thailand, I've worked in many places in developing countries, helping people with their designs and being able to set up micro businesses. So I know what's out there. I've lived in the slums with the people. And yes, the world should be fairer, and hopefully the artists around the world can bring to light a fairer world. What else can I say? You'll see some of my artworks. I'm sure Harry and his team will put them all in for you. And it's different. Yes, it's different. And as I said, it's not everybody's cup of tea. So what's the future for me next? Okay, paint some more, stitch some more, do some more textiles, hopefully sell some, because I did do colour and design at the International Colour and Design College, and I did go to Sydney Uni to study visual arts, and I went to the Australian Catholic University to do my other degrees, but I haven't finished my visual arts degree at Sydney Uni because I had to work like all people and make a living. So maybe down the track I'll head back and finish that degree, and as I love to sculpt in paper, I would like to learn more about sculpture in other forms. What else? Yes, I love paper. I forgot to say that earlier on. I absolutely love handmade paper and sculpting in it. And you'll see some of my pieces. You'll see my earth woman, who is nearly lifelike. And you'll see my vessels that I've done in handmade paper that I make, I embellish, I harden, and you can actually, they're structured. So yes, do some more sculpting eventually, finish that degree one day. But if I don't have the time to finish the degree because I'm doing more art, well, so be it. I know what I can do. Maybe teach just different people about the different forms of mixed media that they can utilize in their work. Yes, do a few shows, which I haven't. I've had one or two, but I'd like to do more, but I have to work harder, of course, and do more pieces. What else?
Thank you very much, dear artist, for your valuable time, this international platform. And thank you everyone, those who are watching these shows. Please subscribe and share this episode because we are doing a lot of hard work and publishing this show and promoting the artist. Not only that, we have a mission to explore the Nepalese art history, Nepalese art issues, Nepalese art culture. That's why please all of you share and subscribe, support this channel. Thank you very much.